Peace, peace, peace. You are tuned in to Soul Guided Podcast. I am your hostess of the mostest, Ramsey P. And it is with joy and with love that I greet you on today. Good day, loved one. Good night, good evening, great rise. Whenever you're listening to this, peace to you. And thank you for being here. Thank you for choosing to be here. And whatever that means for you and your experience. Thank you for choosing life. Thank you for choosing love. Thank you for choosing wholeness. Thank you for choosing peace. Because it ain't easy. It is not easy. And you don't have to choose this for yourself. You do not have to choose what you choose for yourself. And so I just want to take a moment to give thanks for the decisions that you have made. All of them. Each decision that you've made that has guided you to this moment. Yes, I said all of them. I don't care. I'm thankful because had you not made one of those decisions, you wouldn't be right here, right now. And regardless of whether this is exactly where you want to be in your life right now, this is exactly where you are. This is exactly where you need to be, right here with me. No, but really, right here, right now. And if this isn't where you desire to be, I just want to elevate you and celebrate you as you continue to choose wholeness on your way to fullness, on your way to where it is you desire to be in your life. You take a moment, because you did that. You did that, okay? So you take a moment just to give thanks for yourself, because only you know what it took for you to be here right now. Only you know what it took for you to be here right now. And I thank you. Because a lot of people who were here are not here. You're here. Because a lot of people are not choosing peace, are not choosing wholeness. Okay? I just need you to understand the significance, the magnitude, the importance of your presence, of your choice, of your decision. And I want to celebrate you, and I want to say thank you, because I appreciate you. Truly, 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 I appreciate you. So thank you for pausing for the cause being gratitude, being reflection. If you want to pause this and do a little deeper reflection, baby, do what you got to do for you, okay? Do what you need to do for you. I'll be here. I'll be here. Don't even worry about it. So this episode of Soul Guided Podcast, we are going to be talking about a bunch of things, right? We're going to be talking about all the things. Specifically, we are just going to be exploring our relationship with our mind, right? I came across some old notes from a communications class I took back when I was in college, many moons ago. It seems like it. But we were exploring the different facets of our minds. We were specifically exploring the different facets of our ego. The id, the ego, and the superego. And we were just talking about the part that each of them play. Oh, Lord, I don't got the notes on me now. But the id, the ego, and the superego. And just thinking about my own experience and just my relationship with my mind. The good, bad, and the ugly, right? So I've gone from identifying completely with my thoughts and allowing my reality to be created and shaped from that space, disconnected from my spirit, disconnected from my body at different points, even disconnected from my thoughts at different points. So I just wanted to come and just talk about it. Just talk about what that has been for me. Shedding some light on the situation for you. And just to bring up some points to ponder for further exploration for myself and for you, whoever's listening, right? You, the trusted and valued listener and supporter. I appreciate your support. Truly, I do, because you could be listening to anything else. You right here with me, baby. It means the world to me. So let's get into it. One of the books that really helped bust this thing open for me, the inner workings of my own mind, was The Voice of Knowledge by Don Miguel Ruiz. And in The Voice of Knowledge, he talks about our biggest enemy, our biggest supporter, our biggest critic, our biggest hater, our own mind. Another book that is very similar to that book, so I'm just going to give you guys these two books, and this is where these two books, along with my own personal experience and my own learning, are where our lesson or our conversation are coming from today. So, we feel like we in church, and we return to the chapter of, okay, let's get into it. But another text is The Untethered Soul. And in both of these books, the authors just go in depth, just exploring the inner workings of our mind and what's in there, right? So we think constantly. We're constantly thinking. We constantly have thoughts. Our thoughts pretty much never stop, right? Sometimes they're good. Sometimes they're bad. Sometimes they're violent. Sometimes they're confusing. Sometimes they haunt us. Sometimes they elevate us. For me, a lot of the times they have kept me back, kept me from myself, my wholeness. And so trying to figure out who is that in there that's having these thoughts, and who am I? Especially when exploring the deeper question, the larger question, and the more specific question of who am I? You might think that you are your mind. You might think that you are your thoughts, right? And so the books both go into detail and exploring why that is not the case. Because you're having the thoughts. Because you are thinking the thoughts. You think of a subject and an object. And the relationship between subject and object, right? I think those are the two words. Don't get me to lying, honey. Read the books for yourself. We talk about how the thought is the object, right? And the thinker is the subject. And so because I am able to observe and witness the thoughts, I can't be the thoughts. I am not the thoughts. The thoughts are not who I am. Okay? Now, I feel this is going to be, this is just what it is, but I won't be before you too long, because it's really not that complicated. I am not my thoughts. And so when the thoughts arise and they come up and they are not in alignment with who it is I know I am, with what it is I believe and desire for myself, if the thoughts are doubtful of myself, even, okay, so here's the real tea. Even when the thoughts are in favor of, they still not you. They still not you. So don't attach yourself to them. The good thoughts, the bad thoughts, none of the thoughts are you. You are able to, and when you recognize that, and when you accept that, when we recognize and accept that, we're able to find some much needed space between us and our thoughts, right? I think about like a squirrel and how a squirrel looks sometimes, and how they're just bouncing all over the place, right? Their attention span seems to be all over the place. easily distracted. You could think of a small child. You could think of yourself, right? I don't even got to go that far. I could think of me sometimes. And I'm easily distracted sometimes. And my attention span is not that long sometimes. I was looking around while I was just talking, and I just, for a brief moment, because I done forgot my train of thought. I lost my train of thought, and I'm not finna force it. But I was laying down outside. I was taking a nap. If you know me, you know I love to take a good nap outside. And as long as the weather permits it, baby, I'll be here. But I'm looking around just at all the trees. I was that squirrel just now, right? I was looking around. I wasn't super distracted, but I was just observing and looking at all the trees, and I lost my train of thought. But talking about this is the real thing, baby. This is raw and uncut, unedited. Just thinking about all the thoughts. See if it comes back to me. Yeah, it escapes me for now, and that's exactly just where it's going to be. So, thinking about all the thoughts, though, and how they pretty much never stop. It's important to just create that space and recognize that space, and manage and maintain that space between who it is that we are, or that it is that we are, and the thoughts, right? And be in harmonious relationship with them, because you don't want to be, it's not that your thoughts are bad guys. Your thoughts are not bad guys. So we talk about the ego, the super ego, and the ego's main responsibility is to protect you. So taking into consideration and into account all the things that you've experienced, that you have perceived as harmful, that have been harmful to you in the many ways that the things have harmed you, right? Your ego wants to protect you from experiencing those things again, from getting hurt again. The name of your ego's game is preservation. It's preservation, and it's like at any cost. Your ego, your part of your mind, the part of your mind that is your ego, and it's not a bad guy. Your ego's not a bad guy. You hear a lot about people talking about ego deaths and how you need to kill your ego, and maybe if you kill your ego, you're dead. Your ego is a really important part of how you perceive and experience this reality or this experience, right? Your ego is the part of you that adds you as your personality, your flavor. You feel me? Like, we have a spirit, we have a body, and we have a mind, right? And within our mind is our ego. So it's important not to identify, I feel like, from my experience and what's best for me, best practice for me. It's important for me not to identify with that ego too closely. I understand that it is a part of me, and I also understand that it is not me, right? I am, like I said, all three: the spirit, the body, and the mind. I express myself I experience this life through my body, my spirit, and my mind. Each of them are equally important and need to be harmoniously working inside me, right? Because if my mind ain't right, it might throw my body off. It might throw my spirit off. You feel me? So, but it's super important just to allow ourselves, because it's one thing I could say, it's important to make sure that it's important to try to, but it's just important for us to allow ourselves the space to be whole, because we are whole by nature, and we come here and we get fragmented, and we allow ourselves to be fragmented, and sometimes it's outside of our control, especially as children. You know, a lot of our upbringing and our learning is not by our own hands. Most of it is not by our own hands. That's why we're here doing a lot of inner child work and shadow work or what have you, just doing our work to restore our wholeness. And this is a part of it. The balance and the harmony, the relationship betwixt and between your mind, your body, and your spirit. You can't be super focused on your body. You can be anything you want to, but it's not healthy to be super focused on your body and to neglect your spirit and your mind, or to be super focused on your mind and neglect your body and your spirit, or what have you. Right? It's important for us to maintain harmony within all of those. And for me, a big part of that has come with creating a healthier relationship with my thoughts. Right? So, boom, something happens. Or right now, right? So, I've been experiencing a lot of like imposter syndrome. I've been feeling like discouraged. I've been discouraging myself through comparing myself to other people, comparing myself to who I have been in the past, to things I have done in the past, just really holding myself hostage to outdated, you feel me? Like, those are the words for now, but I feel that you feel what I'm saying. But I really had to get myself in check, and I really had to get myself together and let myself know who's who and whose life it is anyway. And it's my life, right? It's not my mind's life. It's not my thoughts' life. It's not my ego's life. It's my life. It's my life. Don't you forget. So I asked myself, how much? I don't know the words, obviously, but go ahead and play some No Doubt, some Gwen Stefani, and get your life together. Whose life is it anyway? And so for me, it's everyday and day-to-day interaction and just, my thoughts. I'm talking to myself constantly. But I remember somebody saying to me, if your thoughts are not in alignment with your heart, like with your highest good, if you're having doubtful thoughts, or if you're having thoughts that go against yourself, that's how you know. That's how you know there's an imbalance of some sort. Because by nature, you are not against yourself. And so it really serves as an invitation to explore our relationship with ourselves. How are you talking to yourself? I used to be like, bitch. Sometimes I still do, because sometimes I be hard-headed. I used to be real hard on myself, how I used to talk to myself. And I remember I was talking to myself aloud, and I was around somebody, and they were like, why do you talk to yourself like that? And I'm like, because sometimes I don't listen. Like, sometimes I'm hard-headed. This was like a couple years ago. Sometimes I'm hard-headed, sometimes I don't listen. But this is when it was really like, this is something that you're doing. And so, I'm like, they like, but who talked to you like that? Like, why do you feel like it's okay for you to talk to yourself? Like, they were really, like, troubled or disturbed with how I was talking to myself, and I thought it was just normal. And I just remember just thinking about whose voice that sounded similar to, right? And so, if you were raised and you were yelled at, or you were cussed out, or you were talked down to, you might talk to yourself in a similar way. That's what I found. And no shade to, this is not the time to bash the folks that raised me. This is just my truth and my experience. Sometimes I feel bad sharing the fullness of my truth and my experience. And so that's why this podcast is so important for me, because I don't really I need to give myself the space to just be, regardless of my relationship to anybody else, just honoring my truth and my experience. So I really, 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 really count it as a blessing and an honor to be able to do that with you. But yeah, really just becoming aware of how I'm talking to myself, being aware of the thoughts that I'm entertaining. Am I, like I was saying, it's the good thoughts and the bad thoughts, the pretty thoughts and the ugly thoughts. All of them are to be witnessed and observed the same way, right? Just like how you talk about, like, when we exchange energy, right? You can't you can do whatever you want. And I'll say that every time I say you can't, because I'm like, they can do whatever they want. Everybody can do whatever they want. But it's not healthy to, I don't think it's healthy to. I want you to figure out how I say this with just saying it. You can't be letting people make you feel a type of way, right? With the insults, if people are insulting you or talking down on you or lying about you or whatever, right? Or if they're complimenting you, if they're praising you, because those same people will switch up and do those same things. They very well could, not to say that they always will. But don't be surprised if, when we give our power and our energy away and we rely on the external things, there's too much there's too much potential for tug and pull, right? We need that anchor, that grounding in ourselves, within ourselves. And even within ourselves, sometimes we may be feeling those tugs and those pillows. And so that's why it's so important to gut out and release those things that are causing those tugs, those pulls, and those imbalances. So really just checking that relationship with yourself again, right? So that's the theme. And checking the way that we talk to ourselves, the thoughts that we are entertaining, the stories that we're creating, right? So you may not be fully aware of this. If this is breaking news, then breaking news. So this could be just a gentle reminder to whoever this is a gentle reminder to as well. But okay, so that's the thing. Boom, 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 boom. I be saying too many words, and I be trying to package it up in a way that it can be received well, right? So this is behind the scenes, right? And that'll have me losing my train of thought. Like, girl, if you don't just say what you gotta say and just trust yourself and your experience, in the message, the weight of the message, it don't matter if it got a bow on it. It don't matter don't worry about all of that. Just get it out, because now you fumbling it. Oh, joy. The processing. This part of the podcast, this segment is called The Process. So thank you for sticking with me through the process. But checking the way that we manage ourselves, our thoughts, and that ties into our feelings. The stories that we tell ourselves, well, that's what we're talking about. So we're aware that each of us have our own truth. There's like a divine truth, right? There's natural truth. There are things that are just true, regardless of anything. There are things that are just true. Each of us have our own stories. Each of us have our own truths, how we perceive this life, right? How we perceive this experience. We have our own truths. And when we come together, we create shared truths. And sometimes when we come together, our truths oppose one another. And that does not invalidate either truth, right? Each truth is still valid for what it is. Their truth, my truth, that truth. Not getting caught up in your own truth so much that you're not able to see or hear or understand anybody else's truth. All truths can exist. And just because you accept another truth that's different from yours or that challenges yours does not mean that you agree to it. I'm not saying agree to everything, because some people be lying out here, you feel me? And a part of their truth is a bold-faced lie. Accept that for what it is, a lie, right? Accept that for what it is. Just accepting these things for what they are. So accepting these thoughts as they come, just for what they are. Because a lot of the times when the thoughts come to share something with us, sometimes they try to warn us. Sometimes they're trying to, okay, so for example, I was going for a run, right? And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to run over there. And I was like, why you don't want to run over there? You scared? This is me talking to myself with no words. This is within myself. And so I'm like, is this something that happened before that is triggering this? This is the scene. Does it look familiar? Does something about this feel familiar? Is this my intuition? Is it guiding me away from going here? Or is this just my, let's say, my ego? Is this just my something that's trying to protect me that may not be doing so righteously in its own right, but harmful to my greatest good, right? And I just put my hand on my heart and I just took a breath to really feel where that was coming from. And I was like, I don't watch a lot of Law and Order. I don't watch a lot of Law and Order, you feel me? And I just didn't feel comfortable because of different things. Different Law and Order coupled with different things I've experienced, watching the news or just, things happen out here. And I was like, okay, that's where this is coming from. And so a lot of time I'll just show myself that it's nothing to be afraid of, and I have to do that thing. So I just, and I'm not doing it in a way, really being able to feel where it's coming from. Because if it's a valid, like, okay, I just feel, okay, so boom, because it was another time. And so I just ran that way. It was like between these little, it was almost completely covered by like trees. And I just didn't feel comfortable. It was like off in the cut. But anyway, I just ran over there and I showed myself there's nothing for me to be afraid of. Another time, I had a feeling to go a different way, go right instead of going left, right, on a run. And I just went left because I was used to going left. Honey, it was like 3 dogs outside. And I was like, dang, I knew I should have went right. But being able to tell the difference in who's sending those messages and where those messages are coming from. So, to leave you with some tools to be able to integrate this and explore this, right? Integrate this into your life or explore this more in depth to fine-tune some things. The practice of just putting your hand on your heart. If but for a moment, being able to tune in with yourself. A lot of it, too, is like grounding, root chakra work. I am safe. I am secure. I am that I am, okay? Being able to really clear those blockages energetically, right? Those things, those thoughts, those ideas, those stories. Being able to really demystify some things or really just get in there, right? Just get in there. So grounding, no shoes, outside, in the grass or in the mud, in the dirt, just grounding, being outside in nature. Even just for a couple moments. You can go for a walk. Walks can be grounding. Root vegetables, right? Potatoes, beans, think of like cabbage, beets, different roots, veggies can be grounding. The color red foods. Sometimes when I'm really, because like visualization is important as well. Colors are important, right? All these things that are very easily accessible to most. But maybe you do a whole bunch of red fruits for your root chakra smoothie or root chakra juice, or you can make a root chakra soup. With the different veggies and different things and make it spicy. But just a couple different things like that. You can explore through journaling, just different things. There's a couple guided meditations that I really enjoy. There's like a full 7 chakra guided meditation that I listen to like weekly. And on that same like album or whatever, they have like each of the chakras too. So being able to do something like that, being able to incorporate movement so that you're able to really feel through these things as they come up. Because think of it like if it's too much stuff blocking. So getting rid of that stuff is really what's going to create the space for you to be able to really get grounded. So being able to release those things. But I feel like those are some things. If this episode was hard to listen to and you listened anyway, I appreciate you. Like I said, I just woke up and I was like, okay, let's do this. Let's do this. So thank you for sharing this time. 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 Up next, or I don't even know how much. This is a learning experience for me, so thank you so much. This is like a really rough draft, rough copy, rough episode. It's gonna get better. I'm telling myself this as I just okay, because I'm like, oh my god, this is just, I can't post this. No, this is going up just like this. So, got a lot of cool things coming up with Soul Guided. Got some interviews scheduled with some really dope people, so just stay tuned. Check out It's a Collective podcast if you want more. As a COLLECTIVE podcast. It's a Collective podcast. Follow me on Instagram. Click the link in my bio if you want to support me. If you want to support Soul Guided, who is me? It's nobody else. Right now, it's just me. You want to support your girl? Click the link in my bio. Shop My Myriad store. I'll be uploading some new pieces today. Order a custom piece. Buy me a drink. Put some gas in my car. You know, there's a couple links in my bio for you to be able to do those things. I appreciate you. I love you. I'm hugging you very tightly. A little awkwardly. Be well. Be whole. Get out your mind. It's a whole world out here. For you. For us. If you will. If you choose. So peace, peace, peace.